Alright guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. So Big Mike, or Mike Magilak, whatever you guys call him, he's gotten himself in a bit of drama recently. People are currently speculating that Mike has gotten kicked off of Logan Paul's podcast, Impaulsive. The only episodes that I've ever personally watched of that podcast were the ones with Rice Gum, 6ix9ine, and Chantel Jeffries. But personally, I never really liked Mike either. I mean, I don't know the guy on a one-on-one level, but he always seemed really obnoxious and loud to me every time that I would watch an Impaulsive podcast. I also find it really disrespectful and weird for Mike to talk shit behind Logan's back, because sometimes there are things that you don't just say publicly and you just keep it to yourselves. Albeit I do agree with what Mike said, it doesn't justify him saying it though, because Logan was the one that really gave Mike his career and gave him all that clout. You could even argue that Logan made him. Actually, I'm sure that most people would argue that Logan made him, especially with Logan introducing Lana Rhoades to Mike, because that skyrocketed Mike's popularity within the YouTube landscape after he dropped that first vlog with Lana. But let's just take a look at the clip that I'm referencing, and this is with Mike talking on the Basement podcast with Keemstar and Facebanks.
I provided a differing viewpoint. Harry Styles with the dressing. I provided a differing viewpoint because I'm going to be honest with you. There are a lot of times where Logan can be a dick rider on shit, and I was providing a fucking on stuff like that. Like if Logan, I'm gonna be honest, if Logan sees an opportunity with a celebrity of that stature of Harry Styles, he's gonna say something on the podcast to squeeze it into the like he didn't come off that show, and I would say this directly to Logan if he was here, straight up. I would tell him he didn't come off that show like, wow, we did a great job pushing for the wearers of male wearing of dresses. Like he did that because he knew it was gonna get clipped. It was gonna give him, you know, a hand up in that fucking space.
But again,
right?
This is just this weird game that everyone's playing.
I actually do agree with what Mike said, and he did make some very valid points, because ever since that Japan Suicide Forest thing, Logan has pretty much wanted to put up this squeaky clean image of himself and did not want the slightest thing making him look bad anymore. And Mike saying that probably rubbed him the wrong way. Logan saw that Harry Styles dress thing as an opportunity to get some good publicity and win some people over. But Logan saw everything and did not like that Mike was talking shit behind his back. And you honestly can't even blame him, right? This would be the equivalent of one of your homies, someone that you thought would always have your back, was talking bad about you behind the scenes. Logan then responds to the situation. This upsets me and I wish I hadn't seen this. Mike will change his character based on who he's with and what room he's in. Everyone in the house knows this, and it's been an issue in the past, especially when we go out socially. I've caught Mike in lies before, and I tried my hardest to help him shed that very ugly part of his personality, but evidently there's been no progress. He'll make things up to further his agenda. Everything he said here is simply not true. George can attest, I was even more fired up before, and especially after the podcast, when they couldn't see my point of view on the Harry Styles dress situation. What a shame. Hopefully he can take his mask off before the rest of his closest friends realize he's only riding for the room of people he wants to impress. Followed by Mike responding and basically apologizing for what he said. But then recently, George Jankos, who is the third member of Logan Paul's podcast, posted this video about Mike.
Mike said to me that that you're the reason why Logan fired him.
So you know, you had Mike on your podcast.
Yeah, I love that kid.
He's a good kid.
Yeah.
I just think he got caught up in the situation, and his mouth got him in trouble.
Oh, did he really get fired?
Breaking the news! Breaking the news! I don't know if he's like.
Now, it's most likely just a joke because Logan has been busy training for his upcoming boxing match with Floyd Mayweather, so they didn't really have time to record any episodes. But I also think that Mike is slowly going to get phased out from the cast of Impaulsive just because of the time differences. Logan is in Puerto Rico and Mike is still in LA. But I don't know, maybe now that Mike has enough clout and followers, he realizes that he doesn't need to suck off Logan anymore. I think he's moving in with Facebanks, Rice Gum, Aiden Ross, Pammy Baby, and Summer Rae. And that group of YouTubers slash influencers is only going to blow up Mike even more. I would even argue more than Logan ever could, because content houses, especially one as stacked as the one he's currently in, is too big to fail. And at this point, Mike probably realizes that he has pretty much already sucked Logan dry and peaked with him, and won't be getting that much exposure from Logan anymore. so he's decided to set himself free. Honestly, I'm really torn on whose side to choose here. I honestly don't know who to agree with, because on one side you're talking shit about the person who made you, but on the other hand, just because someone made you, it doesn't mean that they are exempt from any sort of criticism, and it doesn't mean you always have to agree with what they are doing and have blind loyalty towards them. But that's not all, right? Mike's ex-girlfriend, Lana Rhoades, is also going crazy on him on Twitter, pretty much just exposing a lot of stuff that was supposed to be private between them. In my opinion, that's just really tacky. And didn't they already break up like 5 months ago? It's kind of weird to still be talking about your ex after you've been apart for that long. It just feels like Mike can catch a break recently. From all the Logan Paul stuff to his situation with his ex-girlfriend Lana Rhoades. But anyways, that wraps up for this video, and that's it from me for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this situation down in the comments, as well as if you agreed or disagreed with anything that I've said. Also, thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to watch my last video if you missed it, and also follow me on Twitter at Spolt if you guys want to keep up with me. As always, thank you all for watching. Peace out.